Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ladder Up Podcast. I'm your host, Ron Creech, and this is a place where we talk about spiritual growth, leadership growth, and personal growth. And today we're going to talk about a word that will change your life. It's called action. And faith-driven action is what it's all about. Last week we talked about faith. Faith is the first step on the step ladder that we talked about. So you came up to the step ladder, you had something you wanted to do in life, you had to have a belief or a faith in it to actually make that step. So the difference between the two steps, there's a space between them. We consider that knowledge. We consider that learning. We consider that the understanding. But today we want to talk about taking that knowledge, take that understanding, and moving forward in that. It says here that ideas are great, but they do not build anything. It's your actions that do, especially if they're hard, scary, or uncomfortable kind of actions. That turns your vision into reality. And here's the truth. You do not have to feel ready to move. You just have to make a decision to move. Now, the thing that we run into is when we start to try to make our decisions to move is fear. Fear comes along. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of what other people would think about what we do. And we want to talk about those two different things between faith and fear, if we can, just for a moment. If you look at it in your life, fear comes from doubt and worry. And doubt and worry comes from a word that we call ignorance. It just means you didn't know. You just don't know. So being ignorant to a fact creates doubt and worry and creates fear, which it goes a little further. It creates a little anxiety in your body because you don't know what to do. You just do it. But if you step on the other side of it and you have a word that we call knowledge, knowledge comes by studying and understanding. That gives you the ability to step out in faith. Now, I'm not talking about blind faith. That doesn't really mean anything because the first time you hit a little bump in the road, then you'll fall right back to where you were. I'm talking about faith that comes from understanding. That's the faith that moves mountains. That's the faith that you can build your new purpose of life on. So when you have a purpose in life, we want to take action towards that. And here's the secret sauce right here. Every night before you go to bed, write it out. And then take at least 4 actions, maybe 5 actions that you will do tomorrow that leads you towards your purpose, leads you towards your first step on the ladder, which was your belief. This is what I believe. This is what I want. So this is how I'm going to get there. I'm going to take action. So I'm going to write down 5 things to do. Now, a lot of times we go, wow, Ron, I'm busy all the time. I'm just busy, busy, busy. That's true. You are busy. But we're talking about a purposeful busyness. Something not going to the grocery store, not getting gas, not talking to your neighbor, not this. I'm talking about something, an action step that specifically adds to, takes you towards, or creates a desire to finish your purpose, your belief. Why are you doing what you do? So this is why we do it. We have to take an action. We have to believe in what we do. We have to know what we do. So action doesn't mean busyness. It means intentional. Small steps done consistently beats perfect plan every time. Do not overthink this. Do not overthink your action. Do not overthink your purpose. Put a plan together. Movement creates clarity. Clarity is what we're looking for. Movement creates clarity. Clarity is what we're looking for. So you might, there's a little graph that I have on a podcast later that you can look at, but this is where you are and this is where you want to go. But you can't get there until you make a decision, you have a belief, and you go, that's what I'm going to do. You make a committed decision. That creates movement, that creates momentum, that creates the ability in your mind to go, I'm not really concerned about what other people think. This is what I want. I'm not really concerned if I don't make it, if I fail, because let me tell you this, there's no such thing as failure. And I know you hear that 1,000 times and people tell you that all the time. But either you win or you learn. That's the way you should look at the word failure. So, hey, I didn't make it to exactly what I wanted. What did I do? I learned something. So when you set your belief as here and you start your movement, your goal might change a little. It might get bigger. It might go further away. But the part of action that we're looking for towards our belief and our goal of what we want is that it's not actual getting the boat or the house or the new job our goal is, the purpose of that is to grow as a person, to take the steps of life, to take the steps of the ladder where you are. So every time you take a step, every time you grow, there's a word called character that gets created in you, that grows stronger, that grows more vibrant of who you are. The journey is what we're looking for. The action causes the journey to begin. Action creates clarity. You learn by doing, not by overthinking. And I used to overthink a lot. Matter of fact, I still do some. But I do know people that when I talk about overthinking, this is what I want you to remember. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between real or reality or not. So the more you overthink something, the more you play it out in your mind, the more you read it and go over it and read it and go over it and visualize it, your mind thinks you've already done it. So you waste all of your energy on thinking it, and then when it comes to actual doing it, you can't do it because you wasted all your time and all your energy and all your effort on overthinking it, playing it out in your subconscious mind. You start to do it, your subconscious mind goes, we've already done that. Why are we doing this again? Does that make sense? So the next thing we do is don't wait until you're fearless. Move forward while carrying your fear. It's like I said earlier, you don't have to be ready to make the move, to take the action. You just have to decide that I'm going to take the action. And probably the best action that you can start that's easy enough for everybody to do is when you wake up, get up. When the alarm clock goes off, don't hit snooze, don't hit this, don't hit that. When your eyes open in the morning, you get out of bed and get your day started. And the more you can do that, creates a belief in yourself that's an action that you take it. So when you tell yourself that I'm going to take an action and then you don't take it, then inside your reality of who you are to yourself goes, well, I'm not worried about it because you're not going to do it anyway because you didn't do it last time. So this is a way to change that. If you've been doing that for a long time or been doing it most of your life with procrastination and misunderstanding, take that point. When I wake up, I get up. When I wake up, I get up. Consistent action beats loud talk every time. Be careful who you tell your story to. Be careful who you tell your dreams to. Be careful who you tell your goals to. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't tell them to anybody. I'm just saying be careful who you tell them to. Because what I found is when you start talking about your dreams and your desires and your goals, God gave them to you, not to that person that you're talking to. So they're not going to understand. They're not going to understand the late nights that you put in. They're not going to understand the getting up early in the morning. They're not going to understand the study that you do, the different person you become. You become a different person when you start tracking and taking action in your faith and your desires of what you do. Same way with a business person at your job. So your next level is to come up the ladder in success. Your leadership skills grow. Be careful who you tell what you're doing. Just do your best. Take your action, do your studying, and do your best. And my understanding is what you do in the past, what you do after hours, in the dark, behind the scenes, I should say, is what you get rewarded for in the light, in the spotlight, where you get your accolades, where you get your promotions, where you get your raises, where you become who you want to become in the company of where you are. So we've talked a lot about actions and faith and where we're going. That was what we're doing, but we want to get a little more in depth. We want to talk about how to break down what you're truly trying to achieve. Take the small parts of it. So one of the ways that I do it, and one of the ways I teach, is that there's goal setting, and there's a goal setting that we use is called the ABCs of goal setting. An A-type goal is one that you already know how to do. A B-type goal is one you think you know how to do. So let's go for an example. An A-type goal would be if you came to me and said, hey, I need you to help me set a goal. I go, okay, what do you want to talk about? What does your goal want to be? And you go, I need to buy a new Chevy truck. I go, oh, I got a Chevy. I love Chevys. They're great trucks, man. So then I start asking you questions. So I say, well, what kind of truck do you drive now? And you go, oh, a Chevy truck. And I go, oh, really? That's cool. I say, well, how long have you had your Chevy truck? And you go, man, I got it 4 years ago. And I go, oh, that's great. It's time to get another one. So then a question comes to my mind. I go, well, how old is the truck? And you go, oh, it's 4 years old. Okay. That's a goal that you've already done, that you already know how to do. Now, that don't mean you shouldn't go buy a Chevy truck, but that's something you already know how to do. You just need to sit down and do it. Now, B-type goal is one that we think we know how to do. Okay. So I'm going to start working out. I'm going to get in better shape. So now, instead of getting up at 6, I need to get up at 5. Instead of doing my little thing at home, I need to go to the gym. And then if I go to the gym, then that means my wife has to take my kid to daycare. And then, so from there, that means I'm going to be coming into work and this and this. This. Okay, so this is the lines. You already have all of that. You just need to line them up to make them happen. Now, if I get up at 5, if my wife takes the kid to daycare, if this happens and if that happens and if this happens and if that happens, then I can complete my B-type goal. Okay? But a C-type goal is where none of that exists. You have no idea how to do it. You can't even rearrange it. I want to climb, I think it was the beekeeper guy that wanted to climb the highest mountain in the world. Is that what you want to do? Do you want a yacht? Do you want a boat? Do you want a Ferrari? Do you want a Fortune 500 company? Do you want to be the number one, whatever it is? Those are C-type goals that you have no idea how to do. So we're going to talk about committing to action by learning and doing through learning. So that what I'm saying with that is don't sit down and watch this video or YouTube video 10 or 15 times and then think you already know how to do it. Watch the video, read the book, take the time, and then get a pencil and a piece of paper. I'm telling you, this is the greatest instrument on earth. Because when you take this and put something down on paper, it creates something in your mind that creates the flow, the juices of going. And that's just an action. That's a committed action towards your goals and your desires of what you want to do. And take it immediately. Take small steps. Just take that one little thing. Doing what you know creates faith in your doing. That's what we're looking for. Read the book, watch the video, immediately go do it. Immediately take a small step in towards what you want to do. The momentum gains practical insight. So every step you take, I tell you what, it's what I used to think about. If you're in your car and you're driving down the road, your headlights shoot out about, 200 feet. So now you're going to drive from Nashville to Memphis in the dark. Well, you have to trust that the other 200 feet is clear. You can only see that far right there. That's your action. As you moving, you see more. You see more clearly. You see more what's going on. You're available. Now you can read the signs. Now you can see the overhead signs. Now you can see the speed signs. You can see what's going on. That's what movement and momentum and what you know does. It creates clarity in your mind. And I'm telling you, clarity in your mind is peace. And you can see if people have clarity in their mind because of they're taking what they're learning and putting it into action, because that is revealed on the objective world that they have, which is your outer world. And you know how we know what they're doing and whether they're doing it right or they're doing it wrong or they're doing what they say they're doing? It's a small word called results. I can assure you results are just like 1, 2, 3 numbers. They do not lie. Results do not lie. I think in the good book, it says they will know our people by their fruits. We know. If we're in tune with what we're doing, we know what you're doing. We know what you're thinking because of the results you're producing. If you want different results, go back to what are you exposing yourself to? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What is your vibration? What is your mood? How am I moving my body? It tells you about the results. If all of that is negative, the movement is hard. If all of that is positive through the faith and actions that we're talking about, with the clarity that you have, the momentum and the movement gets easier and easier and easier. So what usually happens is when we start this and we tell you to take a small step, then you take a small step, but you don't do much the rest of the day, then your subconscious or your little enemy on this shoulder right here will go, look, Ron, you didn't do anything. You just took one small step. Ain't no big deal. You're a failure again. That's not true. The step that you took moved you in the right direction. Keep that in your mind. Keep that in your forefront. Keep that in your heart that each day I'm going towards my purpose. Always reward yourself with the small wins. If something fails that you're doing, that doesn't mean that you're a failure. That just means that situation didn't work out just right. So I'm assuming that everybody's over than a year old that's watching this, so you probably can walk. The first time you decided to walk, you didn't just get up and started walking. You fell. You bumped your head. You cried. You got bruises. You got skinned. You got whatever you got. But the drive that the young kid has to walk is so strong that he gets up and does it again. Most of the time within minutes, not days later. He don't maul around everything that happened to him. He gets up and do it again. That's where we want you to be with your clarity and your movement of what you got. As soon as you fall, this is a question you got to ask yourself. It happened to me. It happens to everybody. How long do you lay and waller in your failure? You don't have to waller in very long. You can get it right up and do it. You don't have to lay in the mud. You don't have to lay there for days. Once you fall, you recognize where you are, ask for forgiveness, or repent, or get a new story, get right back up, and move forward again. What happens with most people is when they fall, then they think in their negative mind that, oh my gosh, my dad or my mom or my neighbor or my wife or my kids, they're going to be so disappointed in me that I fail. The only time they're disappointed in you is when you don't get back up. And they might not be disappointed in. I'm using that as an example. You are only a failure if you quit. If you continue to get up and continue to move forward, you will always be moving in the right direction. I know this, whenever I set my first C-type goal, it was a challenge. It was a lot of faith, a lot of prayer, a lot of movement. And then once I accomplished it, it was like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? So ask yourself this as you go up the ladder of success or you go up the ladder of leadership or growth, where are you? Where are you now? Are you standing still? Is there more to do? Why don't you do more? Let's say that you wanted to lose 25 pounds and you got down to 10 or 12 pounds and then you decided, okay, that's enough. We want to be able to take you to the next step. We want to take you through the completion of your goal setting, of your journey in life, of who you become, and not just part of it. You really wanted to do this, the new job, the new house, the boat, the 25 pounds, or the run the 10K or whatever you really wanted to do. That's what you really wanted to do. Why would you stop halfway down here when the opportunity is to grow there? Now, what we do is we take action and we read and we do this, but we get stagnant halfway up the ladder because we do this thing that I used to do called shelf help. We read the books, we do this, but then you need an accountability partner to take you to the next level. That's where you need a coach. That's where you need a mentor. That's where you need a friend that can help you go to the next step. You're going up the ladder, 5 pounds, 8 pounds, 10 pounds, and then all of a sudden you stop and look down, and now you're kind of like going up a ladder like afraid of heights. You're almost there. It reminds me of the story of the two guys that was going to swim across a lake. They was going to go to the other side because there was something they really wanted to do over there on the other side. So they get in the lake and they start swimming. And when they get halfway across, one guy looks backwards and goes, oh my gosh, I can go back. I might not can make it forward. So he swims back. The other guy completes his journey across the lake. And then when they get together, he asked him, he goes, man, why did you swim backwards? Why did you go back? And he said what he just said, that, hey, I knew I could swim that far. But the key was he was halfway there. The guy said, why didn't you just keep looking forward like I did? And as I kept swimming more forward, the bank kept getting closer and closer and closer. The same way with your goals. Goals are huge, especially a C-type goal. It will scare the soup out of you, man. You have to continue to look at the prize. Then you got to go back and reevaluate yourself. Who am I becoming? How have I changed? What has changed about me? I'm getting up at 5. I'm reading this book. I'm praying more. I'm losing weight, so I'm feeling better. I've moved up in my job, so I have a new energy in what I'm doing. What is it that you really want? What is it that you're looking for? Always take those small steps towards that. So as we go through these goals that we set, the C-type goals, and maybe it's the running the 10K or or maybe it's the losing the weight, and we get halfway up the ladders we just talked about, and now we're looking down and we get frightful and we don't really know what to do. We do what I just called shelf help. We read books and all that stuff. But this is the thing you really want to do. Once you get to that point, you're aware of where you are. You're aware that you're not moving forward anymore. Then you want to find somebody, a mentor, a coach, or you just want to find somebody that's already done what you're trying to do. And then just kind of mirror them. So if they said, hey, I get up at 5 and I do this and this and this, but there's one little something in there that they do that you don't do, try to take that on. Try to take the gratitude of your life on. I'm telling you, gratitude is a great thing no matter what you do in this world. Write out 5 or 10 things you're grateful for every day. Send love out to like 3 people that bother you, and just take 5 minutes and sit and let the Holy Spirit speak to you, or the day speak to you, whoever you are, about what good you can do for the world today. So go back out and find these people. Find these people that you can count on. Find somebody that can be your accountability partner. Find someone that you can trust, that you can lay your life out there to what their goal is, and know that they will help you get past that. You cannot, I can promise you, you cannot make it in this world by yourself. Believe me, I tried for 30 years and I went nowhere. I spent a lot of time doing nothing. I spent a lot of time bouncing my head against the wall. I spent a lot of time reading books and thought I knew exactly what to do. But then when I started taking knowledgeable action with reasonable responses to people, and this is the thing that I really want you to take this and sit in it for a while, because this is the harsh reality of what we're doing, is you are the problem to every problem in your life. But the great thing is you are the solution to every problem in your life. As soon as you take responsibility, quit becoming the victim, quit saying, hey, when I get halfway there, it always falls apart. This always happens to me. You don't know what's going on. Those are things that are triggers from the enemy that's sitting on your shoulder here going, hey, Ron, I told you couldn't do this. Hey, I knew it's all your fault. Every time you try to do something, you fail. Every time you try this, you don't finish. You don't follow through. You don't do this. You don't do that. When you take the responsibility of each one of those things and say, okay, it's my decision. It's my responsibility. It's my action. But I cannot do this on my own. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to borrow your faith. I have people that I mentor that tell me that all the time. I don't see myself that way, but I'm going to borrow your faith enough to get me there. If you can look in the mirror and see yourself the way God sees you, or see yourself the way I see you, you'll be amazed at the changes in life that you will have. But I want to ask you these couple questions if you want to write them down or keep it down, or maybe we'll have it on the screen that you can see when it's done. What's one bold move that I need to make this week? What's one bold move that I need to make this week? What's the real reason I've been procrastinating? And what's my first step to break out of it? What's the real reason I've been procrastinating? And what's my first step to break out of it? Because this is what it is. You're not stuck. I'm not stuck. I'm starting. Say that. Say, get up in the morning and go, okay, I'm not stuck. I'm starting. And remember this. I won't wait until everything is perfect. I'm committed to progress, not perfection. See, perfectionist is something we didn't really talk about, but that's huge to people. People think they have to be perfect on everything they do before they start it. But you don't have to be. You just have to get started. Every day, I am building the life I was meant to live. Every day, I am building the life that I was meant to live. Thanks you for tuning in to Ladder Up Podcast. And like we always say, keep climbing.